We are going to learn some of the estates in Nairobi and how they came to be known. We will start with Kawangware. Kawangware, whenever you travel, there is this system of when you are ready to travel, the vehicle goes to a nearby petrol station, it refuels, and you are told to take snacks and go for a shortcut because the next stop will be Nakuru. So the shop that buses to Western used to stop used to belong to a person from Moranga called Ngware. Ngware. Now this Ngware, because most of the people going west side, a lot of them used to be Luos. And in Luo, Kajuang, it means son of Ajuang. So the Luos Luonized the name Gware and called him Kawangware, yani son of Ngware. That is how Kawangware became Kawangware. Now, the main road to Naivasha, Nakuru, and other places used to be past Junction Kenya Science. You pass through the Great Corner, and you know the Great Corner is Dagoretti Corner. Some people say it means Dagoretti. No. There are so many places where Europeans did not buy land. But these places, there is a great corner there. So that is where the road used to go, up to Udhiru, and then take the Maimahiu Road. And if you're from town, you reach Mountain View area, you'll find that the road meanders towards Kabete, and that is how the road used to. But Kenyatta had to make a highway extending the Uhuru Highway. Moi had to extend that past Udhiru and onwards. And it is Moi who constructed the road from Udhiru all the way to Nakuru, bypassing Naivasha. But those days, the road to Naivasha used to be what is still called Naivasha Road. You reach Udhiru, then you go to Maimahiu, and so on. Udhiru imekwisha. That is the Kikuyu word for imekwisha. Riruta Satellite. Satellite was called Satellite because it was a satellite town. It was a satellite town. Most of the people today know of satellite campuses in universities. So that is why the place got the name Satellite. We have a hilly place that is called Community. It is called Community because today, where we have the Milimani Law Courts, that is where we used to have the East African Community offices in Kenya. That is why it was called Community. Adams Arcade, the shopping mall, was built by a family called Adams. And when they started building that place, they called it became an arcade for their own. But Adams Arcade is within Woodley. Woodley. Nairobi used to be a town. Then it was made a municipality. When it was made a municipality, when it was a town, it used to be run by a county council. And a county council used to have their meetings, their parliamentary meetings at County Hall. That is why you hear we have City Hall and County Hall. And County Hall today is part and parcel of the Parliament of Kenya. So when the town was upgraded to be a municipality, the first mayor was called Woodley, and that is why we have Woodley. And the first African mayor was Rubia, Charles Rubia. So Woodley was the first European mayor. Just within Woodley, we have Joseph Kang'ethe. Joseph Kang'ethe was the founder of Kikuyu Central Association when people like Jomo Kenyatta were youth wingers. Now, when you imagine Jomo Kenyatta as a youth winger, then we have Karen. Karen is named after Karen Blixen. Karen Blixen used to farm in the general area that is now called Karen. And we even have Karen Blixen museum. If you go to movies, you'll find that there is a movie called Out of Africa, which talks about the life of Karen Blixen. We have Otiende Estate. Otiende Estate is somewhere near Lang'ata. During Kenyatta's time, whenever you are the Minister for Housing, any estate that started during your time, it would be named after you. That is why we have Otiende Onyonka Estate. Onyonka, we have a senator called Richard Moima Onyonka. His father was called Zakari Onyonka. An estate was built because he was the Minister for Housing at that time. We have Ngumba Estate. Ngumba Estate was named after the then deputy mayor. It was a city council house estate named after the deputy mayor, Andrew Kimani Ngumba. When Nairobi was small, imagine South Sea was considered to be the southern part of Nairobi. And Nairobi West used to be considered to be west of Nairobi. Now Nairobi West is where? Kino. South B and South C was to differentiate the two because the main road, Mombasa Road, cut between them. Somebody jokes that South B is called, someone was asking why don't we have South A? But somebody joked, which I'm sure it was a joke, that South B there is a police band and South C there is CID. But that is not the reason. The reason why there is no South A, I do not know. We have Madaraka Estate. We have Madaraka Estate. When the National Housing Corporation built that estate, it used to be for people of high-ranking positions, watu wa madaraka. And that estate was built in 1972 to 74. We have Upper Hill and the Lower Hill. That is the Capitol Hill. On the upper side, it was called Upper Hill, and the lower side was called Lower Hill. Hurlingham is a name that was borrowed from United Kingdom. There's a place in United Kingdom called Hurlingham. Kileleshwa there is a tree called Mleleshwa. So if you go to Kileleshwa area, you'll find a lot of places, a lot of that type of tree. Golf course near Kenyatta Hospital. There was a golf course. Of course, we have other golf courses like Karen and Muthaiga, but this one was the one which was near the town. Machakos Country Bus. Some people wrongly say that it is called Machakos because it used to be part of Machakos. No. Machakos used to start somewhere between Eastlands, Donholm area. That is where Machakos started. But this one was called Machakos because that is where you could board matatus you could board vehicles to Machakos. Donholm, there was a Mzungu who used to plant a lot of sisal, and his name was Donholm. He had a big sisal estate. And actually, Jogoo Road used to be called Donholm. And Kadenge Stadium for a long time has been known as City Stadium, but the initial name used to be Donholm Street Stadium, Donholm Street Stadium. We go to Ngara. Ngara, Luhyas will be shocked. I went to school in Nairobi Technical in Ngara area, and we were meeting some Indians there, and I was told that Ngara is that thing that a sort of a circular thing that ladies place on their head and then carry their things on it, like water, like firewood, like whatever. African ladies do that, and even Indian ladies do that. And in India, it is in India, one of the Indian languages, it is called Ngara. But in Luhya, it is called Eingara. Maybe our ancestors came from India. Race course. Before the race course was moved to Ngong Road, it used to be around Ngara, and that is why the place is called race course, and we have even called race course estate. Isli. Isli is a name derived from a place in England. Kibra. Kibra is a Nubi word meaning forest or msitu. Now, when Europeans recruited Nubians into King's Africa Rifle, they brought them and placed them in several places. The two major places where Nubis were left was Kibra and somewhere in Baringo, I'll remember. The Nubians were placed there. And the place was so forested, the original Kibra started where Kenya Science Teachers College is, or Junction Mall. And it went all the way and included Wilson Airport and Langata Barracks. That was the two extremes of Nubiland. But you see, Nubis were being pushed both sides until they have remained in a fraction of what it was. Among many places in Kibra, there is a place called Silanga. Silanga is a borehole or a well. And then there is Line Saba. Line Saba was Laini ya Shaba, or in English, it is shooting range. Shooting range. So the King's African Rifle, the Nubians, used to practice shooting at the shooting range. That is the English word. And in Kiswahili, it's Laini ya Shaba. But for those who are not Afandes, used to say that it is Laini Saba. We have Donyo, Dagoretti Donyo. In Kikuyu, if you ask any Kikuyu 50 years and below, what they call marketplace, they say Dhoko. Dhoko is not a Kikuyu word. Dhoko is a name borrowed from Kiswahili, Soko. But the real name for marketplace in Kikuyu is Donyo. Donyo. We have Karioko. Karioko, when people were being conscripted, Africans were being conscripted into King's African Rifle, both in Dar es Salaam and Nairobi, they used to be recruited into career corps. Career corps. Now, the two marketplaces where they used to be recruited career corps, Africans corrupted that and called it Karioko. That is why we have Karioko in Dar es Salaam and Karioko in Nairobi. We have, along Mombasa Road, we have an estate called Tyson. This is an estate that was constructed by Tyson Habenga Company Limited. Railway had estates, and railway had estate where buildings were constructed which looked like railway wagons, and those buildings which look like railway wagons are called Landi. So they had several estates. There was Land Mawe, Land Mudhurwa, Land Makongeni. Now Land Mudhurwa, if you can check my earlier, I've already explained how Mudhurwa. There is a place in Karatina called Mudhurwa, and Mudhurwa, there is a type of tree that is called Mudhurwa in Kikuyu that was found, many of it in the Mudhurwa area. And so when the Luos had the place called Mudhurwa and railways had a lot of Luos, they saw the name sounded like Jothurwa. Jothurwa in Luo means somebody from my home area. And that is when they called it Dallas. You can hear Mudhurwa is also called Dallas because in Luo, Dala means home or Oshago. We have a place called Bama. When we were growing up, we used to go there, take brown tea from a calabash, brown porridge, and one dazi, each costed 50 cents. If you had a shilling, you would be properly fed. Bama derives from the name. Those people who fought the Second World War in Bama, nowadays it's called Myanmar, something like that. When they came back, they came and settled where Bama Market is. We have Embakasi. Embakasi is a Maasai word meaning grassy area. Bakas, but we called it Embakasi. We have a place called Pipeline. That is where they produced the first pipelines for fuel, motor vehicle fuel was, and Outer Ring was the road that went surrounding the city. We have Ofafa. Ofafa used to be a freedom fighter, and that is why we have two places called Ofafa Jericho and Ofafa Maringo. Lastly, I want to tell you about a place in Karatina called Tumutumu. How did Tumutumu get its name? Because I've talked of Mudhurwa. Tumutumu, there is a plain. In Kikuyu is called Kieni. Plain is Kieni. Now, in that Tumutumu area, there are those plains, and what Kikuyus, the original Kikuyu used to call it, they used to call it Tweni Tomo. Tweni Tomo. Now Tweni, Kieni is a plain. And when Kieni is a small one, or if Kieni is one, many are called Chieni. Now, if there are many Chieni, but those Chienis are small Chienis, small plain places, isn't it? So it's called Tweni. And then these Tweni are Tomo. So these are small plain areas which are hard. Tweni Tomo. And then Wazungu had it Tweni Tomo. They thought they were saying, they could not pronounce it Tumutumu. So the place became Tumutumu. Gatho makiria ando wa mucie nitugacamania ringi tondu murutani wanyu ni hindi arikia githomo giake. Gatho makiria.